Switch is a perfectly pocket-sized yet powerful console. You can play some of the best games in recent memory on it right now, like The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey. But if you've rinsed them of content, have no fear, as there is plenty more coming to the Nintendo Switch in the next year or so.
So much so, in fact, that we decided it's about time we told you all about them, whilst wistfully imagining the moment that we get our grubby little mitts on them. But don't worry, I have used hand sanitizer. I know, patience is supposedly a virtue, but come on, cut us a break here.
Anyway, this isn't a list of every single upcoming Nintendo Switch game, but a rundown of the biggest titles heading our way.
You can take a look at the best Nintendo Switch games to play right now by clicking at the card at the top of the screen. Otherwise, settle in, hold your Nintendo Switch close, and here are the 13 biggest Nintendo Switch games to come out that you should be keeping an eye out for.
Animal Crossing New Horizons is the big one, and it's out really soon on the 20th of March. You must know the drill by now. You arrive on a deserted island courtesy of a vacation package from Tom Nook and are gifted a campsite to make your own. Plus, in a new move for the series, the in-game weather will change depending on your real-world location, with southern and northern hemispheres having different seasons. Over time, you upgrade your campsite so that you're not so much camping as glamping, creating new furniture with the island's resources and cultivating friendships with the animals who arrive on your island.
But if there's one character in particular that you have your eye on, you can invite them to join your blossoming community as well as act the de facto leader by choosing where they build their home. Is it just me, or does that sound kinda culty? It's probably all the true crime I've been listening to, huh?
You don't have to just buddy up with virtual pals, though. If you're one of those people who actually have friends, up to 4 players can all adventure together in local co-op, upping to 8 of your real-life friends over the internet in online co-op. Also out sometime in 2020 is The Outer Worlds, which is already playable on Xbox One, PS4 and PC. The tongue-in-cheek space-age RPG FPS is made by Obsidian, the creators of Fallout New Vegas, and has a distinctly chaotic vibe.
The colony of Halcyon is a capitalist's paradise, which means it's sheer hell to 99% of the population. It's a place where cyst sausages, yep, you heard me right, are pulled off living pigs, and suicide is classed as damage to company property. What the hell?
Anyway, in The Outer Worlds, you've been awoken from cryogenic sleep on a colony ship by an eccentric scientist and now have to save everyone else on board. Or you can turn in the eccentric scientist to the omnipotent board that rules over the Halcyon colony. Whether you like to play RPGs diggishly or just enjoy lasering someone into dust, The Outer Worlds has a little something for everyone and is a delight to play, especially if you're thirsting for something to scratch that Fallout itch.
Persona 5 Scramble is an additional fix for any Phantom Thieves fans wanting an extra hit of that special coffee and curry combo.
This one is stuffed with hack-and-slash action. Releasing at some point in 2020, Persona 5 Scramble is in the same vein as Dynasty Warriors. You'll have to cut your way through hordes of enemies with sweeping attacks, making this entry in the Persona series more of an action RPG than what's come before.
If you simply can't wait for Persona 5 Scramble to come out, you can actually play the demo right now if you have a Japanese account for the Nintendo eShop.
From the makers of Assassin's Creed Odyssey comes another Greek escapade named Gods and Monsters, which is filled with, well, the clue is in the name, gods and monsters. Colourful and not nearly as gritty or blood-filled as Assassin's Creed Odyssey, this open-world game is coming out in 2020. You're not just battling against monsters though, as there are dungeons to be delved, gods to save, and sacred powers to wield as you gallivant across the world of Gods and Monsters.
All we know about Gods and Monsters so far is that it has you who are the hero, unless there's some terrible dark secret hiding behind all its colour, fighting your way through the Isle of the Blessed, which is full of mythological creatures, and at the end of it is Typhon. Typhon is apparently the deadliest creature in the Greek mythos, and if that isn't a teaser for an endgame boss, then I don't know what is.
As the Greek gods have fallen victim to Typhon, it's up to you to free them and restore their powers. No pressure or anything. Coming in 2020 is also Deadly Premonition 2: A Blessing in Disguise. The last Deadly Premonition game came out back in 2013, so this sequel is a long time coming. Continuing the survival horror theme of the previous game, it's set in 2005, where Agent York from the first game finds himself in the New Orleans town of Le Carré.
Unsurprisingly, given this is a horror series, York finds himself investigating a serial killer case alongside his friend Zach. Now, those air quotations come directly from the Nintendo eShop, so interpret that however you want.
Spiritfara is going to make you cry. Another one that's coming out in 2020, this is a management game where you play Stella, who ferries the spirits of the dead to the afterlife. You're not just an aquatic taxi driver though, as during your time in Spiritfara, you befriend and care for these spirits, getting to know them better before saying an emotional farewell. Along the way, you farm, fish, mine, cook, weave, craft, and harvest to sustain everyone on your boat, growing it into a cozy little hub for the living and the dead, while also navigating platforming segments.
Spiritfara is an emotional game, but you don't have to have all those feelings on your own, as joining you in co-op is your buddy, who can play Daffodil the cat. This game is just too much.
10 years after the release of No More Heroes 2, No More Heroes 3 is finally coming out on the Switch in 2020, and Travis Touchdown has yet more foes to slay. This time, these baddies are of the alien variety, as a creature named Fu is at their head.
Fu is an alien prince who's attempting to take over the world with his comrades under the guise of them being superheroes, which Travis understandably has a bit of an objection to. And so begins No More Heroes 3, which will undoubtedly have you slicing and dicing your way through alien enemies with Travis's trusty beam katana, which, may I add, is legally distinct from a lightsaber, okay?
We don't quite know when Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out, or even what it's called as a matter of fact, but as this footage attests, it is definitely coming. Beyond that, we don't know much about the game, as all we have to go on is 86 seconds of cutscene footage. But hey, let's try to quickly theorise about it anyway. Looking much darker than the first game, literally and metaphorically, Zelda and Link are shown exploring mysterious ruins below Hyrule. With ancient paintings on the walls of figures riding elephants, these crumbling corridors could somehow be linked to Ganondorf's Gerudo form, as Zelda and Link appear to stumble upon his dehydrated body in the depths of the dungeon.
Perhaps they're trying to destroy Ganondorf or save him? Don't believe me? Look up Hydrated Ganon online. You won't regret it. But what's really the most important thing about Breath of the Wild 2 is Zelda's new haircut.
Look at her though! Anyway, Breath of the Wild 2 is definitely one of the biggest, if not the biggest, upcoming Nintendo Switch game, so don't worry, we'll be keeping an eye and ear out for more information about it. 2020 brings a sequel to Hollow Knight to the Nintendo Switch, beautifully named Hollow Knight Silksong.
With the same bewitching, eerie art style as the original, Hollow Knight Silksong has you put on the helmet, mask, thing of Hornet, the captured princess / protector of the Kingdom of Hallownest.
You'll perform deadly acrobatic feats as Hornet as she fights her way to the zenith of the Kingdom of Farloom in a pilgrimage of sorts. Along with new lore and secrets are plenty of quests that'll have you helping out the forgotten of this strange new kingdom, felling beasts and uncovering the secrets of Hornet's past. New enemies, environments, and stunningly smooth, dancing combat all await in Hallownest. Rip and tear until it is done in Doom Eternal. On the 20th of March, the next entry in the demon-slaying FPS is coming out on the Nintendo Switch, and I can practically hear the distant sound of heavy metal as that date gets ever closer.
The proverbial has most definitely hit the fan in Doom Eternal, as demons have invaded Earth with all its squishy and immensely killable humans. It's up to you to stop the demons from overrunning the planet completely by unlifing them first.
To match the gargantuan task at your bloody feet is a beefed-up arsenal, with new abilities like Double Dash, the Super Shotgun's appetising meat hook attachment, and a shoulder-mounted flamethrower giving you ample ways to tear apart those hellish abominations. Metroid Prime 4 is coming, and that's about all we know about it right now. We haven't got a release date, any gameplay footage, or even a cinematic trailer, but we do have a logo. First announced at E3 2017, Nintendo has said that it would only show footage from the game when it had something that would wow people. So, when we do get a glimpse of what's in store, prepare for expectations to be high.
Originally developed by Bandai Namco, it's now being made by Retro Studios, the creators behind Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime Trilogy. Sorry, but that's all we have on Metroid Prime 4, but it is coming. So, yay?
LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is going to be big. We don't yet know when it's coming out, but fingers crossed that it's 2020.
With 9 films to play through in delightfully blocky form, and the fact that you can play them in any order you want, we're going to be collecting studs for a long, long time, in a galaxy far, far away.
There's 9 films in total to play through, plus random encounters are scattered throughout the game, with one of the examples given being a Star Destroyer appearing out of hyperspace along with TIE fighters, which, unsurprisingly, will attack you. At the centre is an open world hub that will let you navigate between different planets featured in each movie. Each movie has 5 levels, meaning there's a total of 45 levels to play through, which means plenty of time to try out the new combat styles at your disposal too. Lightsabers now have light and heavy attacks, Jedi and Sith can use the Force in combat, and when using blasters, the view switches into an over-the-shoulder mode. Lastly, Bayonetta 3 is coming to the Nintendo Switch, but much like Metroid Prime 4, that's all we really know.
The trailer treated us to a whole 54 seconds of footage 3 years ago and implies that Bayonetta runs into an enemy that's capable of resisting her bullets. Oh, and by the way, it cuts her in half. What?
As for its release date, that's anybody's guess. Bayonetta 3 is currently in development, so it's unlikely that it'll release in 2020, but after that, who knows? Well, not us. And if her severed legs are anything to go by, neither does Bayonetta. Sorry, Bayonetta. And there's the 13 biggest upcoming games for the Nintendo Switch.
If you liked this video and, despite the hellscape that Earth is right now, still can't wait for the future, for the Nintendo Switch at least, then subscribe to Eurogamer and hit like on this video.
We have a new video every single day, so there is always something to watch. Now, if you will excuse me, I need to go plan my Animal Crossing New Horizons island in disgusting, excruciating detail. But come on, don't judge. I know you're doing the exact same thing. Bye!